Welcome back to Mediclass. Autogenous bone grafts. Periodontal disease is an inflammatory condition, and its sequel is alveolar bone loss and osseous defects. These osseous defects can lead to increased probing depths, loss of attachment, and also increase in soft tissue recession after non-surgical periodontal therapy. These defects can thus be treated by periodontal regeneration. Restoration of osseous defects, mainly the intrabony defects and furcation defects, is carried out by use of bone grafts and bone substitutes, which are also called as biomaterials. Bone grafts can be divided into four types: autograft or autogenous graft, which are derived from the same individual; allograft or allogenous grafts, which are derived from the same species but different individuals; xenograft are derived from different species, mainly the porcine or bovine origin; and alloplast are synthetic materials. The mechanism action of bone graft can be either through osteogenesis, osteoinduction, or osteoconduction. It can also be a combination of these three processes. Osteogenesis refers to formation or development of new bone by the cells that are contained within the graft. Osteoinduction is a chemical process by which the molecules that are present within the graft are able to convert the neighboring cells into osteoblasts, which in turn can form bone. Osteoconduction, however, is a physical effect by which the matrix of the graft acts as a scaffold and that favors the outside cells to penetrate the graft and help in formation of the new bone. Autogenous grafts have the ability to retain viability of the cells, mainly the osteoblast and the osteoprogenitor stem cells, and it also does not lead to any immunologic response. Hence, autogenous grafts are also called as gold standard of bone grafts. They also meet the tissue engineering triad of signaling molecules, cells, and the scaffold. They can be obtained either from intraoral or extraoral sources. Amongst the intraoral sources of autogenous grafts are the healing extraction wounds, bone from the edentulous ridges, bone trephined from within the jaw by the use of trephine burrs, bone formed in the wounds, and bone obtained from the maxillary tuberosity, ramus, and mandibular symphysis. The extraoral sources are iliac crest, which provides a cancellous bone marrow, tibia, and calvaria. Extraoral sources can cause postoperative infection, increase patient expense, and also cause difficulty in procuring the donor material. So what are the objectives of autogenous bone graft? It helps in reducing the probing depths, it helps in gaining the clinical attachment, it helps in bone fill of the osseous defects, and helps in regeneration of the new bone, cementum, and periodontal ligament. Autogenous bone graft can be indicated in conditions like deep intraosseous defects, mainly the 2 and 3 wall defects, in support of critical teeth like the abutment teeth, aesthetics in case of the anterior dentition with intraosseous defects, furcation defects, mainly the grade 2 and grade 3 furcations, ridge augmentations, horizontal or vertical, sinus lifting procedures, regeneration around dental implants, filling donor side bone defects. There are different techniques and devices available to procure the autogenous bone grafts. These are the bone scraper. They can either be straight or curved. The bone is removed by a scraping action. Rotary instrument, either the use of burrs or trephines, can help in obtaining autogenous bone grafts. Bone chisels, rongers. Rongers help in removing bone from the maxillary tuberosity areas. And the piezoelectric devices. So what are the different types of autogenous bone grafts? They can either be cortical bone chips, osseous coagulum and bone blend, intraosseous cancellous bone marrow, extraosseous cancellous bone marrow, bone swaying, and autogenous bone blocks. Cortical bone chips are shavings of cortical bone that are obtained from hand chisels during the process of osteoplasty and ostectomy at the sites of the surgical area. These are indicated to use in 1 wall and 2 wall defects. These are available in large particle size and have the potential to undergo sequestration, and hence osseous coagulum and bone blend were introduced. The osseous coagulum is nothing but a mixture of the intraoral bone and the blood, which is obtained through high or low speed round burrs. Its advantage is it has smaller particle size, which increases the surface area for cellular and vascular interactions. It also has a great osteogenic potential. It is also important to undergo resorption and replacement with the host bone. Certain disadvantages are its inability to aspirate during the collection process and the difficulty in knowing the quality and quantity of the bone. It can be obtained from the lingual ridge of the mandible, exostosis, edentulous ridges, bone distal to the terminal tooth, and bone removed by osteoplasty or ostectomy. The procedure involves bone removal with a carbide burr 6 or 8 at a speed of 5000 to 30,000 rpm. It is placed in a sterile Dapper dish before placing into the defect, and it is generally used to treat intraosseous defects. Bone blend is a cortical or cancellous type of bone which is procured with the use of trephines or rongeurs. It is placed in amalgam capsule and triturated to form a slushy osseous mass. The particle size measures 210 by 105 microns, and it is successfully used in the treatment of intraosseous defects. Bone blend is osteoinductive, osteoconductive, promotes angiogenesis, and has host mesenchymal stem cells recruitment capacity. Cancellous bone marrow transplant. These can be obtained through maxillary tuberosity, edentulous areas, and healing sockets. Cancellous bone can be obtained from tuberosity by the use of a curved ronger. In case of edentulous ridge, curettes, back-action chisels, or trephines can be used. Extraction sockets are the source to provide cancellous bone marrow after 8 to 12 weeks of socket healing. These are the trephines and the burrs that are used to obtain cancellous marrow bone. Bone swaying is a process that requires an edentulous area adjacent to the defect. Bone is pushed into contact with the root surface, and there is no intention of fracturing the base of the bone. A chisel is used to create the fracture, and bone is pushed towards the bone defect. Autogenous bone blocks. It helps in rehabilitation of partial or fully edentulous patients. It is indicated in insufficient bone volume cases where there is loss of height or width of the ridge and also loss of normal interarch relations. These are the conditions where autogenous bone block grafts can be used. Autogenous bone block grafts can either be cortical, cancellous, or corticocancellous. The cortical grafts have slow revascularization, while the corticocancellous and cancellous are faster in revascularization. Block grafts are indicated in horizontal augmentation of alveolar bone defects, reconstruction of the alveolar bone for implants, as a pre-prosthetic surgery for jaw reconstruction. The advantages is that it provides stability and resistance to deformation. The success of block grafts depend on the stabilization and intimate contact of these grafts to the recipient bed. It involves a recipient bed preparation with decortication. In this image, you can see the site of surgery is prepared by decortication to receive the bone block grafts. Intramarrow penetration is achieved through use of round burrs, and inlay shaping is done, followed by fixation. Healing is achieved by creeping substitution, where the viable bone replaces the necrotic bone within the graft. Graft angiogenesis and revascularization are key to the success. The different sources of autogenous block grafts are the symphysis and the mandibular ramus area. The ramus provides cortical type of bone and the volume is 10 to 25 cc. Advantages of mandibular symphysis area is that it provides good surgical access and causes minimum resorption of the graft. However, it has high risk, causes edema and post-operative pain, and causes sensory alteration to both lower incisors and the surrounding soft tissues. In case of a ramus, the advantages is that it provides discrete surgical access, causes lower risk of aesthetic complications, there is minimum graft resorption, minor edema and post-operative pain, sensory alteration of the teeth are less, and less chances of dehiscence. The only disadvantage is that it can cause damage to the inferior alveolar nerve or the buccal nerve. How does the autogenous graft heal? After placement of the graft on the recipient bone bed, there is a gap between the graft and the recipient bone bed, which is bridged by the proliferating osteoprogenitor cells or the pre-osteoblast cells. Newly formed bone around the graft area is formed by the bone cells present within the graft, and these are the osteoprogenitor cells or the pre-osteoblast. The osteocytes present in the graft undergo cell death due to anoxia and surgical site injury. This is followed by microanastomosis and restoration of the circulation. The newly bone formed is initially by the surviving cells in the graft and later by the osteoconduction of the cells of the surrounding host bone. Periodontal regeneration occurs by initiation of new bone formation at 7 days, cementogenesis at 21 days, and new periodontal ligament after 3 months. There is incorporation of the graft with the host bone after 6 to 8 months and continues for 2 years. So to summarize, bone grafts are used to restore osseous bone defects and reconstruction. Autografts are the gold standard as they have cell viability, mainly the presence of osteoblasts. The source of autograft are intraoral, that is the tuberosity, ramus and symphysis. Extraoral is tibia, calvaria and the iliac crest. Tools to harvest autografts are the rotary instruments, trifines, piezosurgery and Ronger. The different types of autografts are the cortical chips, cancellous bone marrow, osseous coagulum, bone blend, and autogenous bone blocks. You can find the link to MCQs for this topic in the description of the video. So thank you for watching the video. We hope you liked it. And if you did, please subscribe to the channel for more videos. You can also hit the notification bell for update on new videos. So see you in the next video. Till then, stay healthy and have an amazing week.